Squad! Your king will rise from the ashes like a phoenix. Behold, for the war has just begun. Your king will once again dominate the division. Rest assured, I believe in glass eye glass. What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. Now check this out. I've been doing a lot of research. I've been doing a whole lot of just catching up with some things and just, understanding a lot of shit, man. So listen to my squad, man, to my people. I told you guys, right, that I was taking some classes. I've been investing a lot of time in doing these things. Now, one of the things that I wanted to do was get my Class A CDL, which I accomplished. Okay, so I did that. And I want to say something. There's a guy, and I made an example in the last video, okay? But let me just detail something. There was a guy that I went to class with, okay? We live right down the street from each other. My school is roughly 18 minutes away from my house. But because of traffic, road construction, and things like that, it can take you anywhere from 25 minutes to a half an hour to get there, okay? So the fact of the matter is, I knew that I had to be in class by 8 o'clock in the morning. So what I would do is I would leave my house by like 7:15 because I would rather get there a little early. I can always just sit in my car, go over what some material, do a little studying, something like that. At least I know I'm there. And all I got to do is walk in the building instead of getting at the last minute. My neighbor, and I promise you, I'm not talking about just the late situation, but attitude-wise, he reminds me so much of Deontay Wilder, man. And I told him that. And I think he like when people will say that. He actually looks like him. Tall and skinny, just like him. He actually looks like him. Okay? And I think he likes the fact when people say that. But it's like, man, you remind us so much of Deontay Wilder. His attitude. He's always loud, always hollering, get all in, aggressive about things. And when he talk, he always talk like he's like, whatever he's doing, he's the man at it. Even though, like playing pool or something, we played like 50 games of pool. He's never beat me yet, but he's always talking about how he's the best at pool. All right, anyway. So check this out. You have responsibility, okay, to be accountable for your own actions. As a grown adult, nobody should have to tell you that, right? This guy knows there's road construction going on. The possibility of something happening that can deter you from getting to school on time. And every single time I turn around, what is he doing? He's flying up. And it's funny because from our classroom, you could see the driveway, like where he's coming around. Well, this guy, and the driveway is 15 miles per hour, right? He drives up like he's on the highway. And you know what? He's blaming everybody. Man, this motherfucker was in front of me driving all slow and shit. God damn. Fuck, man, I could have made it on time. Yeah. Everything. It's the driver in front of him. It's the guys that's doing road construction around the corner from him. It's every single person. We live on the same street, like 3-4 houses apart. We live on, so it's everybody else's fault that he's getting to class late. It's everybody else's fault, except for his own. Out of every excuse he's ever made about why he's coming to school late, he never ever says, man, you know what? I need to leave my house earlier. That's what I do. And in conversations with him, in a conversation, I made that clear. I said, man, we got to be there at 8 o'clock. Stop leaving your house at 7:35, man. Leave on time so you can get there comfortably. It is what it is. How you gonna blame the construction crew? They can't even start work until it's light outside. because they got the flaggers outside and everything, right? So they can't even start working till then. So this dude blames everybody. Everybody. Oh man, we on the one-way street. This dude doing 25 miles per hour. Well, that's the speed limit. So what is he doing wrong? It's the other guy. When I got up there, as soon as I passed the light, he made me. He slowed me down. He made us miss the second. We had to stand there and wait. Right. And the simple solution for that is just leave your house earlier. That's all. Leave your house earlier instead of leaving at the last minute and then blaming everybody else. Here's the crazy thing. If you get expelled, anything happens to you, and they kick you out the class, right? Which he's fortunate that didn't happen, but they're not blaming that old lady that was in front of you. That construction crew. There's no, I don't care what proof or what you think is proof. No, the reality is so here's the thing. The reality is had you left your house earlier, you'd have got there. So how come I can make it on time and we live 3-4 houses apart, but you can't? It has nothing to do with them. It's you. And because I know they're out there, of course, you leave earlier. You don't leave where you have to be rushing, running in the building, barely make. No, that's. I don't like to go late anywhere. I like to be on time. I'm very punctual. Okay, I don't like to go late anywhere, even if it's not an appointment. If I tell myself I'm going to Walmart at 3:00, I just want to be there at 3:00. That's just me. Okay. So basically, in my last video, okay, where I said pretty much Deontay Wilder finally speaks to further embarrass himself. Well, this is part 2 to that. Okay, in my story, I'm pretty sure y'all intelligent enough to know where I'm going with this. See, Deontay Wilder, let me say this. As long as we've been seeing him fight, from the amateurs on up to now, there's no secret that the guy can't box. There's no secret that Deontay Wilder, he basically has the right hand in that shit. There's no secret that once he had the reputation as a knockout artist and the guys that he fought, okay, that he was able to knock out, that he was even getting outboxed by, who nobody even talks about these fighters at all. They're not even relevant. But I'm talking even while he was a champion. Like guys like Gerald Washington, Arthur Spilker, Duhampas, Molina, guys that was giving him the business. But we always knew that the right hand was there. But I've always said, one day that right hand is going to fail him. And he doesn't have but one gear. What's he going to do then? No, man. I'm telling you, anybody he hit, he going to knock him out. Yeah. Right. Y'all all said the same thing about Mike Tyson. And the excuses about Mike was on drugs at some point. Oh, Custom Model died. And, oh, man, Richard Giacchetti wasn't shit. And Kevin Rooney wasn't shit. And, well, here's the deal. Why is it you can take a basketball player and put them on another team, and even though it's a new coaching staff, right? Now, there's such thing as having bad chemistry, right? So they might just be on the team and it's just the wrong fit for them. But they didn't forget how to play football. They don't forget how to play basketball. So why is it when it comes to a fight, and here's the thing about a team sport, you have to sync with your team. One-on-one is boxing, bro. So even you yourself, of course, your cornerman, your trainer, all that comes into play. But you don't forget how to fight. So how is it that, when you win, nobody's in there picking the coach up, carrying the coach around the ring, praising the coach? It's just when you lose, all of a sudden the coach ain't shit. Now, you've had many trainers telling fighters what to do in the corner, and the fighter just doesn't listen. Simply because most of the time, because they can't do it. Or they don't have, if you don't have the confidence, I don't give a fuck if you got the speed and power. If your confidence is not there, then you can't do it. It's something inside of you that is prohibiting you from doing, displaying what your corner is asking of you. So that means you can't do it. Simple as that. So I don't want to hear nothing about, the corner. And like I said, yes, they are a vital point. Because, like, for example, we've heard trainers telling fighters who was clearly losing the fight, you're in control. This guy's getting tired. All kinds of shit that we see wasn't true. But they're giving them the wrong information. So, yeah, but I mean, you as a fighter, you know what's going on in that ring. I mean, Muhammad Ali is probably the best example to use as a guy who, even though his corner is telling him one thing, he knows what he feels in that ring. So he understands what he needs to do. So even though they don't think it's a good idea, after he does it, it's like, damn, I don't know how he's doing it, but he does it. Deontay Wilder, I've been around some people that's been through depression. I've been through depression before. I've been around some people who may, years later they'll tell you like, yo, Aries, man, back in the day when such and such and this and that, and I know it's times I was tripping, man. It's times you got up in my face, man. It was like, yo, like straightening me out, man. But like I was on drugs back then, and I was doing this, I was doing that, and it's shit that you don't know. I come to find out that a chick that I knew for years was being molested by somebody that we knew that was older than us, that was crew. And I just found this shit out like 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, what? And of course, she didn't want me to say nothing because the dude has moved on with his life. He's married and doing what he's doing, and she's moved on from that shit. But just knowing that was like, how do I see him the same again? But the point that I'm getting at, y'all, is real simple. You only know what a person tell you. I've never known that, not in my wildest dream, that I imagined that this guy was doing that. I never knew that this was happening. So when I found this out, I'm like, what? Are you serious? Are you serious? But like I said, she didn't want me to do anything about it. So my thing is this, right? You see how all the allegations that they made for Deontay Wilder about Fury cheating and all that? Now, we've covered in the last video that I believe from day one that Deontay Wilder supported these claims because he never told anybody to chill, fall back with all the excuses. His own brother even put his 2 cents in, Tay Jones. As far as I'm concerned, Deontay Wilder might even been telling him that bullshit. Tell him to say it. Who knows? And then I'm looking at the depression situation where he went through a depression before and was about to take his own life, right? And I played that video and let it run for some idiots who claim he never said it. And on top of that, it's like now when Lance Pugmire says what he says, well, you don't have to go and the doctors have to touch you to have an assumption, especially in the field where you've been practicing and doing this for years, especially something like psychologically. Listen, I know a thing or two about psychology, but let me just say this. Deontay Wilder, if you listen to him and listen to what he's saying right now, I believe 110% that he was going through a depression. And that's why everything he did had nothing to do with boxing whenever you saw him on the video. And in the few videos that he did where he did speak about it, it was like a couple. Maybe a couple of weeks after the fight, something like that, or whatever in the beginning. But he stayed away from all of that. So just to give him a credit to be smarter than to get sucked into coming out talking about that. But like I said, if he comes out and speak about it and there's no lawsuit, then it makes no sense. But let me tell y'all something that y'all better understand. For everybody jumping up, pumping their fist, yahooing at what he's doing and what he's saying, right? He can be sued for defamation of character. And not just by Fury, but also by Kenny Bayless. Okay, because your words can make people look at a person and go, you know what, man, I don't want that referee. Or you know what, that guy, he's this and that. But yet you're saying what you're saying without proof. So for you to say I have a dent in my head and the proof is me. Look at my face, look at my head, what he did to me. And there's no way, he can't even punch. So for one, you let us know, which we knew already. You only wanted Fury because Fury was fresh off of being a big fat out of shape couch potato that was going through a depression and was, drinking heavy and doing all kinds of shit to his body. Came back and fought 2 meatballs. Fury wanted you because he knew that you were the easier out of all the guys with the big name. With the exception of your right hand, yeah, he got the puncher's chance right. But at the end of the day, so does every other heavyweight have a puncher's chance and better skills. Now, when you come out and say, in his tweet, you saw that tweet? When that second fight, when that first fight was a draw, I told you. What'd he say? What'd he say? I told you I'd give you a rematch. And I was getting less money. I'm getting more money to fight AJ than I was getting to fight you. Considerably more. But remember he said AJ was ducking him. AJ didn't want it. No. So you clearly just snitched on yourself and told everybody you the one turned the fucking fight down, which we already knew that. See, but this is my point. When you have sheep and yes men around you, nobody check you. See, this is why I've had issues with certain people, because nobody's a big homie to me. I don't give a fuck if you older than me or whatever. You understand? We equals, and I talk to you the same way I talk to the next person. And if you around me acting a fool, I'm gonna tell you, you acting like a fucking jackass, bro. See, people don't like, when you care about a person, you love a person. I've never beat my kids ever to this day. And I never ever hit my kids. But my kids respect me and they understand my logic, my reasoning, my understanding. Because I can talk to them and explain things to them. You understand me? It's not about that. So when you care about a person, you'll go that extra mile to speak up and let them understand what they're doing wrong. And if they got that same love and respect for you, they'll appreciate what you're saying and what you're doing and why you're doing. But when you have people around you that yes man to everything you say and do, you don't think you can do any wrong. So for all of this time that his right hand was saving him and basically getting him out of hot water, well, when it failed him, he couldn't believe it. You notice how when a fighter goes through suffer their first loss, they end up not fighting for a long time, they disappear, and they're never the same when they come back. And it shows you how hard they took the loss. But you got a fighter like Manny Pacquiao who got knocked the fuck out, jumped back up, and he was right back in there against, Brandon Rios. Doesn't matter that it was a lesser opponent. Point is, he was back in there. And he showed, okay, well, I got knocked out, but my confidence is back. I'm there. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. He didn't disappear for no fucking year. So now your man is sitting here saying he's ready to fight. After he denied that he said he hadn't been training, right? So now he's ready to fight all of a sudden, right? You want to wait till somebody's attention is focused on somebody else. The guy has a fight December the 5th, and now you're claiming, oh, you're ready for the fight. Well, here's the deal. Why don't you do this? If you're ready, why don't you get a fight in by December? Why don't you get a fight in by December? And then by that way, guess what? Sometime next year, probably what, spring, summer, you and Fury will be in there going at it. But now all of a sudden it's his lawsuit. So no, you're not going to train and have a lawsuit interrupting your training. Because not only would it be affecting Fury, it'll be affecting you. So that's not going to happen. So what's it going to be? The fight first, then the lawsuit? The lawsuit first, then the fight? What's it going to be? Because the lawsuit is just going to push things back. Okay? These cases don't happen overnight. It takes a while. And I doubt very seriously you're going to fight this guy while a lawsuit is pending. So all of this talk, and this little, let me just tell y'all something about that little bullshit cryptic video. The guy standing there trying to make it look spooky because he's in like a dark, dimly lit area. Little spooky music in the background. Talking like a Marvel superhero. Trying to talk in parables and shit. And you guys are sitting there impressed by this bullshit. The theatrics and all that. Remember, he said he wanted to be an actor, right? Let me explain something to you. On some real grown-up man shit, when you want to get a message across to a person, there's no theatrics. There's no perfect lighting setting. There's no, let me stand this way. Yo, play the music when I start talking. No. You get up in that ass and you get to the point and you say what you have to say. That little stage bullshit, it looked like he was even reading some shit. Kept glancing down like he was reading some shit. I don't know what he was doing. But, you guys that's all impressed by this shit, let me ask y'all something. When somebody hides behind a mask, right, there's ways that you can tell who it is. Whether it's the sound of their voice, their body movements, the way they, their hand motion gestures, something about them where you know who it is, right? But without a mask on your face, but to hide behind a character. Try to portray somebody that you're really not in front of a character, in front of a camera. The hard thing about that is, when you are a fan of a person, which I'm a fan of no one's, but when you're a fan of a person, You constantly find yourself trying to give them the benefit of a doubt. You try to believe in them, and you try to make yourself feel like there's a reason why this guy's doing this. And you try to make them really truly feel, try to make yourself feel like they are worthy of you to believe in them as a champion or whatever it is, whatever their role is, whatever it is. But you try to make excuses for them. It doesn't help them. Okay? I got a partner. I might have told y'all this story before. When we play ball, I've literally seen him cry tears as a grown-ass man because we lost a game. And I told him, I said, man, listen, it ain't that serious, but damn. Like, you know, he really gets to, I don't mean he's not boo-hooing and hollering out, like just tears can be wiping his face. Fuck, man, slamming the ball. He hates to lose at anything. Just like we saw when Jamel Charlo lost, and like he said, I don't even play video games because I don't like to lose. People take that shit to heart when they don't like to lose at nothing. It's a state of mind. It's a psychological thing. What happens? You lost. Okay, we lost the basketball game. We didn't lose anything, though. Just lost the game. Now, here's the reality. Why he was so pissed off? Because he knew we lost because of him. Because it was times when they was double, triple teaming him, and he's over there, all this fancy drilling behind him. Oh, shit out. Yo, I broke his ankles. Right, and you also lost the ball, and they scored. And he tried to make it a one-man show. And I told him, I said, yo, if you really that serious about this shit, stop hogging the fucking ball. Start passing to the open man. Start paying attention that it's a team sport. It's 10 of us out there, right? 5 on 5. This ain't about you. You making us fucking lose with the bullshit. When he plays a team player, we win. When he fucks up and decide he want to make it a one-man show, and all it takes is somebody start talking shit to him and getting his head. And he forget that this is a team game. This ain't a one-on-one. Y'all playing one-on-one, you can do what you want. Deontay Wilder. What Deontay Wilder needs for him to grow as a fighter is an attitude adjustment. What he has to do is understand he lost. Now, if you can't prove the shit you're saying, and all you're doing is making claims, and then you got all these minions and sheep that's going to follow behind you and say, well, you know what, man? He was cheated, and that's fucked up. All the excuses is not going to change anything. And it's not going to make you a better fighter. You're just going to go in there and try to punch a hole in him, thinking that that's the way. But when you realize this dude is just skilled and it's not easy to land a shot on him. And what happens when you land it like you did last time? First 2 rounds and it didn't even fucking phase him. Then what? I mean, I heard him say the look on Fury's face after the second round when he realized, like, you know, he wasn't going to knock me out. And I'm just listening to him like, wow. He's really trying to convince himself. All that speak it, believe it, receive it shit, right? Yeah, well, that it failed you. Your superpower should have told you that somebody was spiking your water. All this shit that he's talking is not helping him. Just like my partner, that ball hogs, if I sit there, nah, it ain't nothing, we'll get him next time, man. Fuck that shit, man. You motherfuckers got lucky. That's the wrong information. And that's music to his ears if I did that. Why? Because he don't want to admit the truth is we lost because of you. That's what was pissing him off. All this fancy shit he's trying to imitate that he see guys doing and trying to, you know. So at the end of the day, no, the truth, motherfucker. You the reason we lost. Straighten up. When you play right, like I said, we win. At the end of the day, I won money on Tank Davis. And I won money on Usyk. Okay? At the end of the day, if in my heart I wanted Tank to win, I mean, let's say if I wanted Santa Cruz to win, in my heart, which I didn't, but let's say if I did, who I was betting on is who I think is going to win the fight. And it makes everything so much easier for me because I'm not a fan of anybody's. Certain things I don't bet on, but certain things are like, nah, okay. If it's the right time and shit is cool, okay, we can make that happen. Let me explain something to you, though. If Tank would have lost, or Usyk would have lost, I just got to deal with that shit. Nobody made me choose those guys. I chose them based on what I see laid out in front of me. When you are sitting here telling people what they want to hear, when you're sitting up here, yes man and yes man and yes man, and sitting up here brown nosing guys, you're not helping them to improve. I don't give a fuck if you're a husband that goes out and party all weekend and leave your wife and kids at home and neglect them and then get mad when somebody, just because they want to spend time with you. It might take you to lose them first. It might take something tragic to happen. One of your kids die, your wife does something for you to, damn, now you start to realize what you've been missing out on. So, you know, if basically from listening to what Deontay said, right, he said that Mark Breland was disloyal. Okay. Mark Breland said Deontay doesn't listen to him. So whoever, I remember the rumors about Malik Scott coming in as a trainer. I'm like, Malik Scott was a shit fighter. How the fuck Malik Scott? Don't get me wrong. You do have shit fighters that know they understand the fundamentals. They just can't do it in the ring. What the fuck is Malik Scott other than him being a heavyweight? But what is he going to bring to the table when he can't implement the shit in the ring that he's supposed to do for himself? In his prime years or not, he never could. So what is he going to do that's going to make Deontay a better fighter? See, the problem with Deontay is, like I said in the last video, Deontay wants to be the boss to the point of, I just do what the fuck I want. I want somebody that's going to come here and fall into position and realize, I call the shots. You just clap and cheer me on. I was watching Mike Tyson's Hot Boxing one day, and he had a guest on the name Mike Rashid. Mike Rashid, lift weights, and he, had a couple of boxing matches as a pro when he used to box as a kid. And Mike Rashid used to hang out with Mike Tyson at one point, him and his dad. And he said to Mike Tyson, he was pissed off one time because Mike, his crew was in the ring. I mean, it was all at camp. They was in the camp, and Mike was in training. He said that Mike Tyson's camp, he said Mike was having a shit camp. Mike wasn't doing shit that day. Mike was half-assing everything. It was a shitty training camp that day. And he said they was just clapping. Yeah, looking good, champ. Yeah, champ. Woo! Yeah, champ. Yeah, champ. Can't nobody fuck with you, champ. Can't nobody beat you, champ. Yeah, champ. And he said he was pissed off because he like, no, this ain't no good fucking training day. This is a bullshit day. Mike is fucking up in here, man, and y'all are sitting there applauding this shit. He said that on Mike's Hot Boxing show. And I'm sitting up here like, and what Mike said right in that show, it was like, as long as they understood I was the boss, it's nothing like being your own boss. Yeah, I agree with that. But to a certain degree. If you in control of shit, yeah. But when you need motherfuckers to tell you what to do because you don't know what the fuck you're doing, or you slipping, you should appreciate having somebody that has your back. But when you want a bunch of yes men, like Mike Tyson made a comment about training for Roy Jones. He said, I hire people to come in there and fuck me up. So if they're not doing that, you're fired. Well, don't hire no fucking meatballs, first off. Hire somebody that you know gonna bring some work to your ass. That's how you do shit. You can't blame them if you get some fucking meatball there and the motherfucker's intimidated by you because he ain't never accomplished shit in the fucking ring. He ain't never beat nobody, whatever. He ain't no hardcore motherfucker, whether he made it to the big stages or not. If he ain't no hardcore, I got skills, I will beat your ass, then why are you bringing them into camp? So you can't bring somebody into camp. They ain't worth a shit. They don't give you the work that you want. You're fired. No, you should be fired. It's your fucking fault then. But if you got people around you that just kiss your ass and tell you what you want to hear, you will never improve. What improvements is Deontay Wilder going to make? Is he going to come in that motherfucker and learn how to throw combinations now? Is he going to work off his jab, give you some lateral movement, get on his toes when he need to? Get on his back foot when he need to? Walk you down, give you different looks? Huh? Head, body, head, mix it up. Combinations to the head, mix it up to the body head. Is he going to start doing that shit? Is he going to learn how to parry punches? Huh? Is he going to learn how to sidestep and catch you on the counter? Is he going to learn how to throw a body shot? You know what I'm saying? Uppercut with the same hand? Is he going to learn how to do all that shit? Is he at 35 fucking years old going to come in the ring and just be a whole new fighter all of a sudden? No. I think not. And when people say, like I've said myself, people can change and fighters can learn. Personally, as far as he goes, I don't see it happening. He doesn't have the basic fundamentals. He does not respect boxing. Knowing, and let me say this, knowing fighters from the past names and the year they fought a guy and how many times they was champion. No, that's all that. I'm a boxing historian because no. You happen in the fucking ring. You should respect the sport of boxing and your reputation enough to add to your arsenal the things that, as many weapons as you can. You wouldn't go into a fucking war and say, Just give me one gun or just give me a knife. No, motherfucker. Let me get as many weapons as I can carry. It's as simple as that. You need a variety. He doesn't respect boxing. He does not respect the art of boxing. Mike Tyson was a killer in that ring, but Mike respected boxing. Now, his personal demons that came back to haunt him, that's one thing. But just initially, Deontay just thinks that the right hand is all he needs. So it don't matter who the fuck. I don't care if Floyd trains him. It doesn't make a difference. Everybody was talking this shit about George Foreman. No, George Foreman could relate to Deontay Wilder, because when George Foreman got beat by Ali, that's the first shit he started saying, was that they poisoned his food in Zaire. Who poisoned your food, George? I don't know. Could have been anybody. They all wanted me to lose. So this is what Deontay, he can relate to Deontay, the excuses. And I believe 110%. I believe that he was depressed. And listening to his message, he sounded like he's still fucked up. So he was putting airs on, oh, I'm feeling good, everything's good, I'm good, I'm, feeling good, it's resting my body now, and it's boxing, professional boxing, these things happen. Nothing about a lawsuit, nothing about any of that shit. Now all of a sudden he's changing his tune. Because he has nothing, he's hit rock bottom. Who's he going to fight that you care about fighting right now? So he basically is talking, but he needs to do something other than just sit on his ass and talk. Now regardless to what he does and doesn't do as far as fighting somebody else before Fury or however it's going to go, let's understand something. All of this talking that he's doing, that he just started doing, all these accusations, this basically recycling what we've already heard from every other channel, what he needs to understand, when he gets back in that ring, with that same bullshit style that he's been having all this time that finally failed him, and once you lose that aura of invincibility, it's a wrap for you. Okay? And especially when fighters are getting better and improving and you're staying the same. And people overlook this. Like I said, we've seen the same shit happen with Mike Tyson. Everybody just thought Mike could knock out anybody. And when he got to the point where, damn, Mike ain't knocking motherfuckers out no more. Or it's taking him forever to finally knock a motherfucker out. Then all of a sudden he getting knocked out by journeyman. It's like, okay, I don't care about the excuses that you make. It was because of Robin Givens. It was because he was on drugs. It was because of his training. It was because, right, it was everybody except for Mike Tyson's fault. Well, y'all can keep feeding Deontay Wilder this bullshit. Y'all can keep going on his channel, feeding him all this. Yo, champ, we love you. We got your back, champ. Yo, they cheated you, champ. Can't nobody beat you, champ. Yo, I love the smell of your nuts, champ. Y'all can keep doing all that. But for Deontay Wilder to improve as a fighter is what he's going to need going forward. He's 35. He has pins in his fucking hands. He's had surgery multiple times. He's going to end up going in there against a Daniel Dubois or some young, hungry motherfucker that's going to come out of nowhere. And they're going to beat the fucking brakes off of him. Simply because why? He's not improving as a fighter. And the type of shit he's talking right now, I guarantee you there's a whole lot more people right now that used to like Deontay Wilder that's hoping right now somebody knock his fucking block off. Because it's like, yo, how arrogant is this motherfucker? He sat on his ass for 8 fucking months, not saying a word. Now he comes out and starts talking all this shit, poison water, this and that. It's everybody except him. Everybody was against him. But the one fucking claim out of everything that constantly has been talked about is the fucking gloves. And who does he keep? JD's. I mean, every excuse. Oh, Andre or Anthony Durrell, whichever one of the Durrell brothers is, yo, man, throw the towel in, man. He taking enough punishment. Oh, man, he's an informant. Oh, they influenced Mark to throw the towel in, and then they did this and they did that. Here's the deal. Anytime you can man up and realize your own fault, your own weaknesses, your own mistakes, you can improve on it. Because you're acknowledging what it is about yourself. But the way he talks is like him, his chicken legs and his right hand is all he needs. And it already failed him. Fury fought him completely different in the second fight. And I believe, like I said a long time ago, is because when he got dropped and he got up, he showed no fear and he walked Wilder down. He hurt Wilder, he backed Wilder up. And I believe he realized then, you know what? This motherfucker can't fight backing up. Let me change my shit up. So when you're saying, when have you ever seen me backing up? No, but Fury did what he said he was going to do. He did what he said he was going to do. So instead of you focusing on the rematch and showing some training and getting there and no. So when people say, but he just had a surgery, but you the same motherfuckers that's saying, no, he's ready, but Fury don't want to fight. So which is it? It's always one lie to another. Listen, y'all. I'm really tired of talking about this shit. But when news comes up, we got to address it, right? Your man is not going to change. He's not going to improve as a fighter. He's going to be the same old Deontay Wilder coming there looking for the fucking knockout. Floyd Mayweather Sr. said this guy is unfixable. I agree with him. Because the biggest change you have to start with is you, your mind, your mindset, understanding what you have to do. That's what you have to do. You have to look in the mirror and see you, not look in the mirror and see other people. All right? Don't get all fat and out of shape and ugly and go take a mirror back to the store and say, yo, man, your mirror making me look ugly. I want my money back. No, it's not it's you, motherfucker. It's you. The mirror is just showing you what you look like. So until Deontay Wilder until his fans start to really get in his ass like, champ, come on, or whatever the fuck y'all want to refer to him as, you got to get on the ball, man. You slacking. You here bullshitting, man. You fucking shaking your ass, twerking and bullshit, sending little cryptic messages, motherfucker. We need to see you training. We out here breaking our necks, making asses out of ourselves. For you, now you finally come out and say something that we feel good about because you agreeing with us. You co-signing what we've been saying all the time, right? Yeah, right. That's the wrong thing. But until y'all keep it real with him, he's going to keep being fake with himself. And as long as he's being fake with himself, he's being fake with y'all. So when he go get knocked the fuck out in his next fight, or the fight after, or however it's going to go, y'all can make excuses, man. It's because of Fury hit him with that fucking egg weight. It's because of this. Nah, man, that shit took toll on him. Man, he's not the same fighter now because of Fury and because of them cheating. And y'all can make all the excuses y'all want. But when the big lights go off and the show is over, it's over. And it's on to the next fighter. It's as simple as that. That man got a life to live after boxing. But the thing I see with Wilder, he's so arrogant and stuck on himself, he think he can't do no fucking wrong. It's everybody except for him. So when he go, just like James Kirkland got rid of Ann Wolfe and made all these excuses about what he did, he didn't talk bad about Ann or nothing, but he tried to make excuses like his training wasn't going the way it was supposed to. And I said, man, James Kirkland is damaged goods, man. That guy done been beat the fuck up too many times, too many wars. And what happened? Very first fight with a new trainer, he got knocked the fuck out, got beat the fuck down. So it don't matter who the fuck is in your corner. If you yourself don't have a high boxing IQ, don't have enough skill set to adapt, to adjust to what your opponent is doing, to figure out what you need to be doing. And that's all this is about. This isn't about Deontay Wilder hatred or praising Tyson Fury. Is neither one of the two. It's just the reality, man. You got your ass beat the fuck up, and you still blaming everybody but you. Well, for that little bullshit offense that you had, for that little bullshit defense that you had, that's the best you could come up with. You couldn't control your body. You felt like you had muscle relaxers, and I believe, no. What happened? Your nerves got to you. You went in that motherfucker and Fury beat your ass. That's what happened. And you can't accept it, and your fans can't accept it. But you know what? At the end of the day, whether you go to court, whether you had a third fight, or however it's going to go, you put yourself in a position now, everybody's tired of your bullshit. And your sheep can keep leading you. And you know what's going to happen? When you fall off that fucking cliff, the first sheep behind you going to be like, oh, shit, nah, champ, I can't take that fall with you. You're going to be all alone again. And you know what's going to come down to? Your wife, your kids, the people that love you. And you're going to realize all these fucking sheep, they cheer for you when you're on top. You are no longer on top. You was one of the top. But at the same time, and they may be loyal to you as far as being a fan, which I don't understand all that shit. You motherfuckers, all this following somebody's shit, because I'm not a fan of anybody's. But at the end of the day, you're going to realize, as you get older and shit starts to kick in and set in his head, he's going to start to look at shit, whether he admits it or not. Or maybe he never will. Who knows? Because some people are just like that. But at the end of the day, for him to improve as a fighter is what it's going to take for him to win. All this little pussy ass shit he's doing, running back and forth, blaming motherfucking this and that, and every other excuse. So which one is it, man? Was it the poisoned water? Yeah, fucking costume was too heavy for your chicken ass legs. What? Did the Rail brother influence Mark Breland? Mark Breland just somehow knew you was going to get beat the fuck up in the 7th round. He knew what was going to happen. He knew in the 7th round, oh, as soon as this motherfucker started, and he said, I was just getting myself together. Motherfucker, what fight was you watching? Them punches had you drunk. You was getting yourself together. You was getting teed the fuck off on in the corner. Wasn't throwing. The fuck was you talking about? I was just getting myself together. No, bro, you was getting the shit beat out you. You walk over there, why you do that? Mouth all busted up, why you do that? I mean, you want the God on your shield, man. We all fighters, we got heart, bro. But that's the whole thing. That's why we have trainers and managers in the corner to save us from ourselves. But that shit you was doing, if you consider that getting yourself together, bro, that's pathetic. You don't even have a fucking ring IQ at all. If you consider that getting yourself together, you wasn't rope-a-doping, man. You just couldn't do shit. And all the excuses is not going to change what happened. So when you do get in the ring next time and you get beat the fuck down, the excuses is not going to change it then either. But what you need to understand, you need to look in that mirror and work on Deontay Wilder. That's what you need to do. And if Kenny Bayless countersue, if Tyson Fury countersue for defamation of character, because you, all the shit you talking, you have no documentation, no proof of nothing. So even if your doctor said, I don't think a human fish could have done that, your doctor's still going to have to produce proof. And I know right now with this shit that you talking about, same shit that these fan channels been talking about, there ain't enough to get no court case won, bro. So at the end of the day, all the shit you saying is not going to add up without proof. And the fact that you mentioned court, you would think you would be wise enough to know you need the documentation. You have to have proof of. Well, y'all can stick around and see how this is going to play out. I just happened to catch one of the news. I understand what was going on, so it was just like, let me speak about it. And I don't think I want to address this. This is the follow-up to the last video. And the first one was just a short, quick one to let y'all know that he basically exposed himself. Yeah, I tell you, you got to get your shit together, man. It's as simple as that. I don't give a fuck with everybody, 7, 8 sports. All of them can sit there and kiss your ass and tell you what you want to hear, but I'm going to tell you different. Whether you give a fuck or not, I don't care, because I don't really give a fuck either. We're just talking boxing shit. But anyway, listen. Never fall in love with lies, people. And remember, the truth brings hate out of people. Nah, fuck all that. Catch y'all on the next one.